Have you ever had one of those days where everything went wrong and you came home, sat down on the couch, and just broke? Maybe you started crying. Maybe you just sat there in silence, staring at nothing. And then, without a single word, without being called, your cat appeared. They jumped up beside you, pressed their warm body against yours, and just stayed. You probably thought, "Oh, how sweet." But here's the thing, what if that wasn't just a coincidence? What if your cat didn't just happen to wander over? What if they actually knew? What if, in that quiet, vulnerable moment, your cat was responding to something much deeper than we've ever given them credit for? That question changes everything, and by the end of this video, you're going to look at your cat in a completely different way. Most people think of cats as independent creatures, cold even. We've all heard it. Cats don't care about you, they just care about food. It's practically a cultural joke. But animal behaviorists have been quietly challenging that idea for years, and the evidence they've found is nothing short of extraordinary. Because what your cat actually feels when you're sad is something we're only beginning to fully understand. Let's start with something you've probably already lived through. Think about the last time you were really upset at home. Not just a little tired, truly heartbroken, or overwhelmed or scared. Now think about where your cat was. Chances are they were closer to you than usual. They might have nudged your hand, curled up on your lap when they normally prefer the armchair, stared at your face with those wide, unblinking eyes, and you felt it, that strange, comforting presence. You just couldn't explain it. What most owners don't realize is that this behavior isn't random, and it isn't purely instinct in the way we used to think. Something deeper is happening here. Cats have been living alongside humans for roughly 10,000 years. 10,000 years of watching us, learning us, reading us. And in that time, they've developed something remarkable, a sensitivity to human emotional states that most people completely underestimate. Researchers at Oakland University conducted a study where cats were placed in rooms with their owners, who were either showing neutral expressions or clearly upset ones. What happened? The cats spent significantly more time close to their owners when those owners appeared distressed. They sought physical contact. They oriented their bodies toward the person. And here's the part that really got scientists talking. They often mirrored the emotional energy in the room. When the owner was calm, the cat was calm. When the owner was tense, the cat became attentive and alert. That's not a cat wandering over for warmth. That's emotional attunement. But how do they do it? How does your cat know you're sad before you've even said a word? And this is where it gets interesting. Cats read us the way we read books. They're watching your body constantly. Your posture, your movements, the speed of your breath. When you're happy, you move differently. Your steps are lighter. Your voice has a certain rhythm. Your face opens up. But when you're sad or anxious, everything changes. You move slower, your shoulders drop, your breathing becomes shallow. You might sigh without realizing it, or your voice drops to a lower, quieter register. Your cat notices all of this, every single detail. They're also listening to sounds you don't even know you're making. Cats have extremely sensitive hearing, far beyond what humans possess, and they can detect subtle changes in the pitch and tone of your voice. When you cry, when your voice cracks, when you speak in that quiet, hollow way that sadness produces, your cat hears it as something completely distinct from your normal voice. It registers as a signal, and that signal prompts a response. Beyond hearing, they're also using something we rarely talk about: scent. When humans experience strong emotions, our body chemistry shifts. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline actually change how we smell. We don't notice it. Other humans barely notice it. But your cat, they can smell emotional change on you like a change in the weather. It is to them as obvious as a storm rolling in. So when you're sitting on that couch, crying or numb with grief, your cat isn't guessing. They're reading a full picture. Your posture, your voice, your scent, and they're responding to all of it at once. Now, here's what makes this even more moving. When your cat comes to you in those moments, they're not just reacting. According to several animal behavior researchers, cats also appear to regulate their own behavior in response to yours. In other words, they adjust how they act, how much they touch you, how close they stay, how quiet they are, based on what they sense you need. Think about that. Your cat is not just detecting your sadness. They're trying to respond appropriately to it. You may have noticed that some cats, when their owner is crying, don't jump on them immediately. They approach slowly. They might sit nearby first, watching. Then they inch closer. Then they touch. It's almost careful, like they're giving you time. Like they understand on some level that a sudden move might not be what you need right now. That is not the behavior of an animal that doesn't care. That is the behavior of someone who does. And we haven't even gotten to the most surprising part yet. Stay with me, because what comes next is the piece of this story that most cat owners have never heard, and it reframes the entire relationship. There's a concept in animal behavior called social referencing, the idea that an animal looks to a trusted companion to understand how to interpret a situation. Human babies do this constantly. When they see something new and uncertain, they look at their parent's face. If the parent smiles, the baby feels safe. If the parent looks afraid, the baby becomes afraid too. For years, scientists thought only dogs and primates did this with humans. But recent studies have shown that cats do it too. When faced with an unfamiliar or uncertain situation, cats look back at their owners. They reference your emotional state to figure out how they should feel. This means that the bond between you and your cat is not one-directional. You are not just a provider of food and shelter. In your cat's emotional world, you are a source of information about safety. You are an anchor, so when you are sad and your world feels unstable, your cat feels that instability too. And in coming to you, in pressing that warm, purring body against you, they are doing something remarkable. They are both responding to your distress and grounding themselves in your presence at the same time. Two creatures anchoring each other in silence. Let's talk about the purr, because it would be a crime not to. When your cat curls up with you while you're upset and begins to purr, most people assume the cat is content. And sometimes that's true. But behaviorists have long known that cats also purr when they are nervous, when they are in pain, and here's the fascinating part, when they are with someone who is in distress. It is theorized that the purr serves a self-soothing function, yes, but also a social one. The vibration of a cat's purr falls between 25 and 150 hertz, a frequency range that has been scientifically associated with promoting healing, reducing anxiety, and lowering blood pressure in humans. Your cat lying on your chest and purring is not just emotionally comforting. On a physical level, it is genuinely calming your nervous system. And the wild thing, your cat may not even consciously know this. It may simply be something that evolved over thousands of years of cats and humans living together, a perfect, quiet gift embedded in the relationship itself. There's one more layer to this, and it's the one that makes me think about all the times I've underestimated a cat. Cats form what researchers call secure attachments to their primary caregivers. This was demonstrated in a 2019 study out of Oregon State University, where cats placed in unfamiliar environments with their owners showed clear signs of using the owner as a secure base, exploring more confidently, returning to the owner for reassurance, and becoming visibly distressed when the owner left. This is the same attachment behavior we see in human children with their parents. Your cat doesn't just like you. Your cat is attached to you. In their inner world, you are not interchangeable with any other human. You are specific. You are theirs. And when you are hurting, that attachment activates something protective in them, something that drives them to close the distance between you. What most owners don't realize is that this is a form of love. Not identical to human love, not expressed in human ways, but love nonetheless, translated into proximity, into warmth, into a paw placed gently on your arm in the dark. So the next time you're having one of those days, the kind where the weight of everything feels too heavy and the apartment is too quiet and you find yourself just sitting there, pay attention to what happens next, because there's a very good chance that a small, soft creature is going to appear. They won't ask you what's wrong. They won't try to fix it. They'll just come and sit with you in it, steady and present, reading everything you can't say out loud. And in that moment, something remarkable is happening beneath the surface of what looks ordinary. A living being, one with extraordinary senses, a deep attachment to you, and 10,000 years of shared history with your species, has decided that your sadness is something worth showing up for. They came not because you called them, not because it's feeding time, not because the sunspot moved. They came because it was you. And to them, that is reason enough. If this video made you think of your cat differently, go find them right now. Sit next to them. Let them feel your presence. Because the relationship you have with your cat is far richer, far deeper, and far more mutual than most people ever realize. And if your cat has ever shown up for you in one of those quiet, broken moments, you already know exactly what I mean.